hello guys, before we start with our tutorial for today, let me remind everybody that we are only allowed to use laptop, tablets, desktop PCs. This is intended only for Windows OS and Mac OS X only. And you are not allowed to use mobile or smartphones, tablets, Chromebooks, Windows RT, Android phone or iOS. They are not capable of doing so. And for our Microsoft Office Excel's version or Excel versions, we're going to use here, or you're only allowed to use 2010, 2013, 2016, 19, and Office 365. And if you are using LibreOffice, WPS Office numbers, and those things that you can find here, they are not allowed again to use or to edit the content of our IPCRF form. So for this day, we're going to have our IPCRF part 1 to 4. So I'm using my Office 365. If ever this is different from yours, you need to secure for Office 365. So this is the IPCRF rating encoding form intended for teacher 1 to 3 for profession teacher. So as mentioned by Ma'am Cha earlier or yesterday, you need to encode off the data that is needed for this form. So instead nga kami ang ma-encode, you need to do such things because there are other data which actually we don't know together with Sir Ken. So to start with, in order for you to achieve or in order for you to have the copy of this form, you need to visit the link that I have sent sa aton lang GC. Okay, so this is the link. Okay. So when you click on the link, it will automatically open the tab or another tab which contains the IPCRF user guide intended for ICTs and the uploaders. But as you can see here, there are 7 folders which contains the files that you need to download for you to be able to have a copy of your IPCRF form. So the teacher who are done already with their calibration last Monday, Tuesday, and this day, July 15. So it can be found in the folder intended for relief teacher, grade 12 and grade 11. So if you're with relief teacher, all you have to do is to open the relief teacher and then select a file and choose the ellipse and download. But you have to take note that each of you were given a specific file. How to determine if that file is yours? Of course, by clicking the file or pointing the file and make sure that the name intended, or if your name can be found on that file, of course, that's yours. So say for example, let's have Sir Jemuel Acta. Okay, so click the file and then click the ellipse for more options and then click download. So once you've downloaded the file, ayan, so save lang. So for this sample, I'm going to save it on the desktop. Okay. So again, this is the file. Prescribe, DepEd prescribe IPCRF parts 1 to 4 for school year 2019-2020, and then your name on it. Please do not change the name or the file name of the file because that is the standard that is required by the central office in order for us to upload correctly the files that they needed, or they're going to monitor the data that we have gathered for our RPCRF for the school year. Okay, so once you open the file, let's have the Sir Jemuel Acta. Again, I'm using Excel, Office 365, Excel 365. So if ever it's different from your version, you need to secure for Office 365s. But if you don't have, you can still use your Office 2013, 16, and other versions, except of course 2007 and lower. Okay, for you to start editing the data that is needed, you need to click first the Enable Editing button that can be found under your menu bar. So as you notice, this is a protected view, so be careful. Files from the internet can contain viruses unless you need to edit. It's safer to stay in protected view. So you need to click Edit or Enable Editing for you to be able to start editing the file. Next is you need to enable also the content. So there is a security warning intended for us so that we could disable the micro, but the macro, I mean the macros. But for this case, we need to enable the content. So you need to click Enable Content. Again, this is intended for proficient teacher from teacher 1 to 3. And you can see there are instructions for you to read. So please read all the instruction before filling out the form. So the data that you need to enter are the following, starting from the name of the employee to the circular classification. So let's enter sample data for this form. So when you click on the name of the employee, okay, there is an instruction that you need to make it in all capital letters or uppercase. This is the format that you have to follow: last name, first name, and then MI. So we have an example here of Rizal Jose P. So let's have here again an example. So Rizal Jose P. Next position, if the cell is if the cell contains a drop-down options, you need to click the drop-down option. Do not write on the cell. So for this, let's have teacher 2. Employee ID. So you need to put your employee ID, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, you need to input your correct employee ID because this would be sent to the central office. So all data will be gathered here. Of course, that includes your employee ID, so it must be correct. Employment status, I think everybody has the regular and permanent status. Age, again, if this contains drop-down option, you need to click the arrow on the right side. So for me, since age bracket belongs to 25 to 30, so I'm going to select 25 to 30. So for sex, there are only 2 options. Pasensya na sa iban, but there are only male and female. Level thought. So for the level thought, I think we need to input first data to other cells before we could enter in level thought. Okay, so there's only one rater. So again, we still have to follow the format. That's last name. So we have Campus Cheryl T. Position, select the drop-down options, and then select here Master Teacher. Master Teacher 1. Date of review, so that's the date when the calibration happened. So please follow the format. This one, that's year, month, and day. So 2020 July. So let's say 14. That's yesterday. Ayan. So waiting period, you don't have to edit that one. Next, region. Region, I mean. So click on the drop-down menu and select Western Visayas. For the division, of course, that's Rojas City, District Municipality, and that's the time that you're going to type here, Rojas City. Since there's no drop-down option. School ID, no drop-down option also, so you need to type 311704. For those who are new, again, the school ID number or school ID is 311704. School name, you need to type the whole thing. So Don Inocencio A. National High School. All right. School type, since we are in urban, so select urban. School size, we need to select large, although we are already very large, but as mentioned by Ma'am Che, we need to use large first. Circular, curricular classification is grade 7 to 10 and grade 11 to 12. Okay, those are the learners that we are catering only, from 7 to 12. So let's go back to personal data. Number of years in teaching, in my case, that's 0 to 3 years. Highest degree obtained, since I haven't graduated with a master's degree, so bachelor's degree. Area of specialization, please select from the available drop-down options. So, in my case, since I am teaching media and information literacy and empowerment technology, since this does not belong to any of the subjects here, so I think I need to choose here TLE, HE, or TVL. Okay. And then let's go back here to the level taught. So the moment you change the curricular classification, you need the system automatically change it is the system automatically add the options here for the level taught. So in my case, I'm teaching senior high school. Grade level taught, if grade 11 only, then select grade 11. But if you are teaching both year level, of course I have to select multi-grade. And then the strand, since I am holding ACAD under, or general academic strand under ACAD, so I have to select general academic. And don't forget to save your work. So click here, save. Next video presentation, or the next tutorial that we're going to have, is intended for part 2, which is the 4 behavioral competencies. You don't have to worry on the part 1, which is encoding of the grades that you have acquired from the 4 or 3 COT, and of course the grades that we have here for the efficiency and timeliness, and other part of quality that we have here. It's only Ma'am Che, me, and Sir Kent is allowed to encode the data that you have here. Because once the ratings that you have here locked by the master teacher or the rater, it can no longer be unlocked unless you know already or if you know the password. So since the password is private, so you don't have to worry the things that is intended for part 1. So the person who are authorized only to click the finalist part 1 would be Ma'am Che only. So again, the second part of the video is intended for part 2, which will be filled out only right after part 1 will be finalized by the rater. That includes, of course, the part 4, which is the development plans. So, do not say that you're done with the calibration, wala na ta overhaul, but still, we still need to provide the development plans that we have. But if ever that you have your development plans already for school year 2018-2019, you can still use it if you haven't met the goals that you have included for the last year's development plan. For part 1, whatever you have encoded here for the part 1 proficient, you don't have to worry of the things that is included here, because the moment you encode the data here, that will be automatically transferred here. At the same time, the scores that we have will be automatically included also here. Same as with the part 2 and part 3. So you don't have to calculate the data. All we have to do as part of the team is to secure the data that you have taken or that you have acquired from the 3 COTs that you had before, and those figures that you have acquired here during the calibration period. If you have questions, you can directly send a message on my messenger, or if you want, you can call or text my number for any clarification. So I guess you are done already from acquiring the link. which is already is ato lang GC, and then downloading the file, and then after that is encoding the file. Okay, once you're done already, so since this file is named already with your, this intended for you, you just have to save it. And then after that, we're going to upload it back on the link that I have provided you. So since I forgot the link, so I need to visit Facebook and open the messenger, and I have to click the link. Again, the link is sent already sa ato lang group chat. So this is the link, so I need to open it. Since I allow everybody to edit the file, so it means that you can also upload file here because you are an editor. So that one is for Sir Jamuel. So I'll be creating here a folder. No need for you to create a folder because I'll be the one to create it. So I'm just going to have here it done. Create. Okay. Once you are done already with the file, I mean the encoding of the personal data, you need to open the done folder, and you can now upload the file. So by clicking and drag it here, and once it notifies you that it's already done, one upload complete, so that's it. It's good to go. We're going to download this again, and we're going to encode now the figures for COT 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you. Again, don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell button for you to get notification for the new videos that I'm going to upload, especially the part 2 of this IPCRF form. Thank you.